pregame and I can pull up on them. Tryna roll. For real? Bet. Pull up to the pregame. Yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Hey. Pull up to the pregame. Yeah. Pull up to the pregame. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Catch a vibe, come and meet the team. Come and kick it with your fave 3. Chop it with us, come and join the stream. Trust me, y'all, it's must see. It's a culture party if you partaking. Hottest podcast, it ain't no debating. It's ringing off cause it's so engaging. Let's keep it talk. You won't find this on no other page. This kind of talk, this kind of cloth right here is tailor-made. What up, love? Tryna have fun, we the plug then. It's for the people so the culture win. Need an outlet, then tap in. Come tap in. We keep it fresh with the content. We even got Bash Stop from Carolina Blitz. And Shot from P&P, they're a perfect fit. Cause what's the point of a pregame if it ain't lit? It's lit, it's lit, it's lit.
Yo, welcome back to the Pregame Podcast. We lit, we live, and while y'all at it, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Vashti, what's up with you, friend?
I'm
How
tired.
are you? Look, in 2025, we got to find a different word. But I'm going to give it to you.
Well, if that's the word that works, I can't give you anything else.
That's real. Hey, yo, before we get into it, and before I get into the intro and everything, want to make sure I've been working on this since last week, Vashti, on the echo. I don't hear echo on my end. Do you hear echo on your end?
No, but I look blurry. Like
that has nothing to do with my side. It might be.
But you look pixelated too.
Yeah, that might be the internet, the Wi-Fi on your side.
No.
I'm just saying. It might be the Wi-Fi on your side. I'm not even
It's not the Wi-Fi.
You sound
okay.
You sound good on my side. So somebody told me you still echoing, which is interesting. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to probably mute myself while you talk, which is okay. So Vashti, Merry Christmas. How was your Christmas?
Low key.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm not complaining.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Mine was low key too. I chill with family. We do like a little Secret Santa joint where we exchange, names, and then you have gifts. The minimum is $100, and so that was cool. Really, really, really fun. Having Ali, my oldest and my youngest, that was fun. So having them and seeing them open their gifts was always cool. That's always one of my favorite parts. Do you have a movie that you have to watch on Christmas? Is it like a movie that you're like, I gotta watch?
It's typically Home Alone. I didn't watch it this year. Honestly, it's still not too late. But I did watch just like a bunch of Black Christmas movies. Friday After Next, Almost Christmas, This Christmas, something else I watched. Yeah.
What's the best, in your opinion, Black Christmas movie?
That's tough. Honestly, I don't know.
A lot of people.
I don't know.
I've seen a lot of people. Talk about Friday After Next and saying that's not a Christmas movie. But in my opinion, it is a Christmas movie.
It's certainly a Christmas movie. The whole theme is around Christmas. I don't know what else it could be.
If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Friday After Next is a Christmas movie. That's how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it.
Well, okay.
No, go ahead. Say what you about to say.
I don't even know what I don't even think it's close though, because like Friday After Next is literally about Christmas. Every scene has something Christmas related. Die Hard, if I remember, because I'm not a big person, but at the beginning they're at a Christmas party. That's basically the extent of it. So yeah, no.
Yeah, it was basically the timeline of the Die Hard movie was around the holidays, but it wasn't necessarily everything around Christmas. So people like to use that as, oh yeah, it's just a Christmas movie because it's around Christmas. You know, I give or take. But Friday After Next is, it's between, for me personally, it's between Friday After Next or This Christmas. And This Christmas was a okay movie, you know what I'm saying? But in terms of the best, like top ones for me, in terms of Black Christmas movies, that's what I got. But in terms of like all time Christmas movies, it's got to be between Home Alone, the first one, and I love, this has been since I was little, A Christmas Story is my jam. Christmas Story is
I don't
definitely
think
my
I've
jam.
ever really watched that movie. I could never get into it. It's kind of boring.
It's okay, so it's definitely older, but if you, because I think for me it has sentimental value, which is probably the reason why I like it as much as I do. If I didn't, then I can understand why it could be so, quote unquote boring, because some of the jokes are like, yeah, they're corny, but for me it gives me sentimental value, which is why I like it. So between that and Home Alone, and then How the Grinch Stole Christmas, that's a classic. The one with Jim Carrey, can't knock that. Those are my top three, I would say. All right, so Vashta, let's get into some content. We got a lot to talk about. First thing I want to talk about is SZA. Did you listen to this album yet? Her deluxe that came out?
No. I didn't
Vashta!
even, yeah, no.
Why not?
I didn't even know it came out.
Oh, okay. So look. Oh, okay. So this was, I think you might have missed this week, but me and Shad a few weeks ago went into our R&B bag, because I always feel like whenever this is me personally, whenever it gets cold outside and it's like real chill cuddle weather, I like to listen to my R&B. I get my R&B bag when it gets cold outside. And so one of my like big R&B people is SZA. I love SZA. And so SZA came out and she dropped an album, but it's like a deluxe to her SOS that came out like 2 years ago, right? And so it's really good, 15 tracks, really, really good. But the news around SZA right now, and if people understand what's going on the screen, you'll get my little punny joke here. But Punch is a manager. He works for Top Dog Entertainment, which is the label that SZA is under. He's been her manager since she has become this big star. However, he has withheld a lot of her music. She's only able to drop a certain amount of times within a year span. So like she may drop an album and then you don't hear any music from her for 2 years. That's like the TDE cadence, right? You can drop an album and then 2-3 years later you drop another album. And so she basically said, you know what, we're done. And she basically fired her manager. It was a mutual, quote unquote mutual breakup. But I put Punch got scissored, like cut. You get it? No, it don't hit. Punch got scissored, like scissored. No,
I get it.
I tried. You don't like that. You like my Arrested Development though. When I hit that with the Diddy one, I put Arrested Development, and you was like, "Yo, that's so corny, but it's so funny." That's what I was going for. But
Yeah, I don't know about that either.
Dang. One of these days, I'm gonna
But
get.
I mean, go ahead and cook, I guess.
Anyway, here's the reason I want to talk about it. One, SZA, I think, is a very talented artist. I literally text my sister when it's dropping. I was like, yo, SZA don't miss. Like her music is really, really good. It's definitely different from when she first came out to what she's doing now. But the fact that she has released her manager, for a long time manager, I have my thoughts around it. I think this is, TDE has been a big powerhouse for really, really good artists like Kendrick, Schoolboy Q, Absol, J Rock, SZA, Doechii right now. And they've been on this little, I could just say, train of like not letting them release so many times. And then he messed up her mixes, and it was supposed to come out on the 20th of December. It didn't come out because of the fact it didn't come out when it should have, because he was mixing. Like I don't know what was going on, but at the end of the day, artists, I'm noticing a trend where artists are really trying their best to take back control of their artistry and what they're doing. And I thought it was very interesting. My hypothesis, before we move forward, Vashti, is I think that she is going to either leave TDE and then go with Kendrick over at Kendrick's label, PG Lang, and do her own thing and have more artistry control. But we'll see. I know she wants to drop music often. He's been holding her back, so I'm very curious to see what 2025 is going to hold for her. That's all I want to say. I just want to get my thoughts out there. But it's a good album. You should check it out, Vashti, when you get a chance. Let's get into some football news. This was hot off the press. It just happened a few hours ago. Teddy Bridge over troubled waters. He's back. We talked about him a few weeks ago, Vashti. He was coaching his high school, his alma mater high school, to a championship. They won the state championship. And he had an interview with ESPN where he was saying, like, hey, you know what? Like, I want to go back to the NFL. I have some teams have been calling, but he never said who it was. Teddy Bridgewater did play backup for the Lions before he retired, and now he's back, 32 years old, back with the Detroit Lions. What are your thoughts on this happening? And then also, let's bring in a Panthers person, Cam Newton, who's been out there and not getting any spots. Is this we talked about character over talent. We talked about people wanting good character people on their teams. Is that a dig at Cam for him, like saying that he's willing to do this and then not getting picked up? Or is this just, security blanket for the playoffs?
Well, Cam Newton is 35 years old. Cam Newton hasn't played in the league since 2021, and those were limited snaps. So I don't think it's a fair comparison. Teddy was just in the league last year, right? So, I mean, it's not a knock on Cam. His days are probably over with in the league, unless something crazy happens. But typically, Black quarterbacks aren't the beneficiary of these type of happenings. You usually can't get away from the game, do something totally different, and then return. It just does not happen that way for Black quarterbacks. We've seen that happen a couple of times where guys are been out of the league for years or a year, and then they're called on at the last minute, and this, big news. But good for Teddy Bridgewater. I mean, I'm assuming that, this was in the works the whole time, which is why right after that game, he kind of said he was coming back to the league. He probably had already spoken with the Lions. That was probably already going to happen. We were talking about this in the media room today, and one of the media members said he feels like Teddy will sign basically as a coach on the field, and then when Ben Johnson leaves, which is the expectation that he'll leave to accept another head coaching job, that they'll promote their offensive coordinator. Their quarterback's coach to offensive coordinator, and then maybe let Teddy Bridgewater be the quarterback's coach in Detroit. That was his theory. I actually didn't think it was that far-fetched. But we'll see. Good for him.
No, facts. Definitely good for him. I feel like this was definitely in the works. Like you bring up a great point of the age difference and the fact that Teddy was just in the NFL a few years ago. He was just in NFL last year. So, it brings up a good point. I don't know if he'll see the field unless Goff gets hurt. He knows the system because he was just there last year. But look, I love to see a Black man keep a job, So shout out to him for doing what he said he wanted to do, of going back to high school, winning the championship, and now he got another paycheck. So I'm curious to see if he's going to stay or if he's going to go back and coach next year. I think it's a very interesting theory that you said, that somebody said, around him being a quarterback's coach. We shall see. Speaking of some very interesting news that happened, I saw you. It was a lot of you went. Look, Vashti, you've been going viral a lot this year.
I have been. It's been a good month. It's
You've been
been
cooking.
like this past 30 days we've been on a good little run.
I'm not even gonna hold you. It's been more than a good little run. It's been a solid run. Shout out to you also for putting your Carolina Blitz up
Got to
higher.
now
Talk
because
to me
people
about
be
that.
stealing. Well,
Why?
at first I would just put the actual logo and it would either get cropped out or you just couldn't see it. And so now I've just started putting my ad and the business name, and that way and still some larger outlets will put a caption over it, but after asking me for permission. But now when people just upload the video, well, you can't say that it wasn't mine. Or I've had a couple people on Instagram that I've had to come at because um because they act like, oh, I didn't know where it came from. You knew where it came from. So now it's there, it's in the middle, you see it. So it's still, yeah. I mean, it is what it is. People gonna eat off your content. It's just probably more so than you. It's the nature of the beast. But at least um it, with that, at least I'm trying to better brand it so that I get potentially some followers or whatever. I don't know.
No, we know. We definitely want Carolina Blitz to blow up. I mean, that's what we want to happen, and I feel like that's what's happened. Like, you're everywhere. I saw a post you put out talking about like the viewership that and how you're increasing across like multiple states. Like, you're everywhere. You're everywhere, and so I think that's pretty dope. So shout out to you. I know you trying to play the humble game, but I'll be the one to brag for you if that's what we need to do. But you tried Coon today. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. So for those who don't know, Xavier,
Why can't I see the comments? Do I have to log in?
I don't know. I have to figure that piece out. But here's one comment right here. Vashta had that coon, how that coon taste. So I think right now the way that this particular software works, I have to pull up the comments. So I got to figure that out. So new software, figuring it out. That's what my time off until January. That's what I'm trying to do. So one is I got to figure out this daggone echo because we don't hear it, but the audience hears it. But we're gonna figure that bad boy out. But for those who did not see the video, another video that went viral today, Vashti was interviewing Xavier Leggett, and he had coon, and he talked about coon before during Thanksgiving, but he had that coon out there, and it looked like like chopped barbecue. It looked like barbecue, honestly. You tried it, Sheena tried it. I need to hear your thoughts. Give me a scale to 1 to 10. How was that coon?
I was apprehensive because yuck, raccoon, like, but he was so proud of that raccoon, and I felt like, well, I mean, he's inviting us to try it. The least I could do is be adventurous, I don't like rodents. I think raccoons are filthy animals, but I tried it and it actually tasted pretty good. It was seasoned very well. It had a little spice to it. It didn't have a gamey type taste. I guess they did it kind of like pulled pork. It was more like a hash. I don't know if y'all are used to like a meaty type hash that would probably be good over rice. I think he just eats it by itself. When he opened the Tupperware box, it looked like somebody said, I didn't know coon looked like backwoods, a little bit over backwoods, but like it looked disgusting. And I knew I wasn't going to try it then, but I don't know. I don't know what came over me, but it actually tasted, it wasn't bad. I'm not going to go get any more just because of the visual of eating a raccoon, but taste wise, whoever prepared it seasoned it very well. I can tell whoever prepared that knows how to cook.
Okay. So here's another question before I get into another question. But last thing about a coon question: would you try it again? Xavier brought you some more. Would you try it again?
Probably not, but not because it was nasty. It's just the fact that it's raccoon.
Was that the craziest thing you've ever tried?
I've had escargot, but that's like not crazy. It's really considered a delicacy in
Right.
some
So you
places. Um, so no, like I haven't had possum. I've had venison, but that's not considered crazy. So yeah, that's probably the craziest thing I've ever had.
I haven't had raccoon before, so I got some family that live in West Virginia, right? So I've went down there and tried some crazy things. I haven't tried raccoon yet, but I've definitely tried deer. I've tried rabbit, and it's good. Like I had a deer casserole, excellent. Rabbit soup, really good. But I wouldn't mind trying coon. I wouldn't like. I need to hit up X and tell him like, yo, let me know if I need to make a trip, whatever. Cause I'll be down to try it.
Yeah.
I would try
It's
it.
just the raccoon. It's the raccoon thing. The taste was good, but I just
You eat chitlins?
that is a black delicacy.
If you eat chitlins,
Chitlins, pig feet. I feel like that is just like
if
those
you
are
eat
black
chitlins,
staples.
oh no. If you
I
eat
haven't
chitlins,
had
you eat.
chitlins in a while, but I feel more comfortable eating chitlins than I do raccoon.
Interesting. Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother conversation. You know, we can get into what each animal eats. We can get into all that because pig be eating some crazy stuff too. Let's keep it a bean.
They do. But we all love bacon. Hey,
That's a Fendi
we
fact.
all not lining up to eat raccoon.
That's real. That's real. So one thing that you said on Twitter, this became an interview. It's not. I don't want this to feel like an interview, but it definitely. I got some questions because I said this months ago, and I remember when I said this, you were looking like. I think it might have been the time we had Sheena on too, but I said this months ago, and y'all were like, "Yeah," but I felt it, and now I think now it's manifesting. Look, and here's the thing, Vashti. I'm not one to toot my own horn. You feel me? I'm not
But it
one to
sounds
toot
like
my.
you in no
I'm
for
not.
real though, right
I'm
now.
not. I'm not. I'm not.
Okay.
But I said I asked because of the way things are going. I was like, yo, is the vibe different? Like, is the vibe back? Like, is it different? Is it a different vibe? And this is me on the outside, just looking in from what's taking place from like, I'm one of those fans. You know, I'm not like one who's like really, really like loud on social media and says whatever. Like, I may have my tweets every now and then, but I'm not really that. But I pay attention to everything, and I look at the all the interviews, all the post game conferences, all those different things, and I just noticed. I was like, yo, the vibe seems a little different. And you said it today, and it low key went viral again. But you were like, something's different about this Panthers team. You talked about the amount of fans that were at the practices, right? That was out there. You talked about the locker room and the vibes and everything. What's going on with the team right now, knowing that we only won 4 games, but the vibe is high? Talk to me.
Yeah, it's I think today was the first day that I really noticed it. Sorry, excuse me.
Bless you. You good.
Boy. So, you know, I mean, as a beat writer for the Panthers, I'm in that locker room. I'm at that facility 4 days out of the week. So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't go on Friday, but Friday is a regular day. And then on Sunday for game day. Today really is the first day I was like, oh, it's different in here. The vibes are different. Bryce is walking around talking. I'd asked him about the Sperry's because everybody thought he was wearing his Nike Elites with Sperry's, and I'm like, so. And usually, like previously, like he avoided us like the plague, and it's not like that. You know, the ping pong table is still there. Somebody asked me, "Is the ping pong table is still there?" But you know, guys are playing cards. People are going out of their way to speak to us and to make conversation, and you know um just the whole, it just feels like the Panthers are on the precipice of something special. And I've been covering this team for a while. I haven't felt that before. Like, I've felt locker rooms that have been cool and upbeat, but there's just an underlying current of just people who like each other. It's a I don't want to use the word family, but it does kind of give that kind of like feel to it. And it was just good today. It was just good today. Somebody
Hey,
said the Christmas, maybe it's the
that's what I
Christmas
was saying.
spirit. I don't know.
I was gonna say that. I was like, is it the holiday spirit? You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know what? You talking that talk, you know what that mean? The Kool-Aid coming out. The Kool-Aid back out, okay? The Kool-Aid.
You know, Carlo, the season is over within 2 weeks. So then everything is new.
Kool-Aid back out. Kool-Aid is back out, okay? The Kool-Aid, look, I kept it. Look, I had it stirring, and the Kool-Aid gonna sit there a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna slowly bring out the ingredients. You know what I'm saying? Because the offseason gotta happen, free agency gotta happen, the draft gotta happen. But look, when I hear stuff like that, when I saw something, I was like, yo, the vibe is different. And even like it's different. It's different. And when I hear Jadeveon, who is a pro, talking about the like, hey, we playing, we love football, we doing all these different things. The way that
somebody
we
posted that.
Look,
I didn't even get a chance to post it yet.
That's another thing I wanted to ask you too. Is these beat reporters, y'all have to move so fast.
Yeah.
Because like you literally have to interview these players and then literally like sit in your car and post it.
Basically.
Make sure you got your watermark up there. Make sure you got your comment that is gonna hit. You know, it's yeah, but somebody already posted all that up already. So people are moving really, really fast.
Yeah, and I was doing all the I was doing all the Xavier Legette stuff, and then I also posted I asked some of the guys what they thought about the Carolina Reaper nickname. So I was posting that, and I was gonna post Clowney later, which I still will. But yeah, I mean, and then you just never know what's gonna pop and what's not gonna pop. And I might post the same thing as somebody else posts, and it might jump for me and it might might not jump for them, or vice versa. But we're all in there kind of getting the same video and stuff. So yeah.
Not for that. But 2025 is up.
They better fix that defense.
Hey,
play it again.
So
play it again. Hello, 32 ain't gonna cut it. Okay, whatever we're gonna be at next year. Play it again. You better be able to stop that run. Okay, play it again. I mean, what we doing? Where the pass rush at? I mean, what 3-4 ain't working. Play it again. All right, so they got some work to do. Thank you.
Hey.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yo,
it's still work to do.
No, definitely still work to do for sure. Look, bro, we got a lot of people in here. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, so y'all can hear Vashti's foolishness every week. Because you never know what she gonna say. Okay, you never know. You never know what she gonna say. I gotta clip that. That's hilarious. That's absolutely hilarious. That's probably one of the funniest things. Anyway, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We on a roll. We're close to 300. We got 273 subscribers. We got a lot of people in here right now. Make sure that y'all continue to like. Let me tell y'all what that does real quick before we get into the next thing. When you like this particular video, it helps us out in the algorithm, and other people like yourselves can pull up to the pregame and see what we're doing over here. I'm super excited about this podcast. We're the only podcast I've seen out here right now that talk about a little bit of everything, right? You're gonna get your pop culture, you're gonna get your Panthers stuff, you're gonna get your NBA, all the different sports. We talk about everything. But when you subscribe, it's a very free way for you to really show support to the podcast. So make sure y'all spread the word and definitely join us on this journey. 2025 about to be up. We got a lot of cool things. And Vashta, we got to do a live show soon. How you feeling about that? A live pregame with music and all that. DJ, it's going to be a vibe. You down for it?
I'm down.
Say less. All right. So before we continue, well, actually, not before we continue, but let's get into it. So NBA, NFL, Christmas time. I saw you tweeted something too, which was very interesting as well. And I completely agree with you on this, but this is I think the second time the NFL has had like a Christmas game, I want to say. But usually everyone knows the Christmas time as the NBA games. On Christmas, you're watching NBA. I grew up watching Kobe on NBA on Christmas time. Later on his time, he would always lose, but it would usually be like LeBron with the Cavs against the Lakers and Kobe. But we always knew Christmas to be NBA. But now the NFL is kind of taking over, and it doesn't seem like they're going anywhere anytime soon, right? They actually did really, really well per ratings, and I'm gonna get into that just a little bit. But NFL had the Christmas games. Also, Netflix. Can we get a round of applause for Netflix? Because finally they did something right.
We're not giving people a round of applause for doing their job.
Why not? I mean, Netflix. Look, let's keep it a buck. I was scared, especially after the Tyson Paul.
That fight in the NFL with Beyonce. Those two different animals. Okay, there's no way they were gonna fumble that. And Prime has done a really good job of being that whole exclusive streaming service to televise football games. I'm sure that they tapped into whatever that they were doing, or use some of their guys to kind of help them out. But like you don't fumble the NFL bag.
That is fact.
Don't nobody care about Mayweather and who's the boy he fought.
You talking about the first time Mayweather? No, it was Tyson and Paul.
Yeah, we don't care about either one of them.
Which is very true.
We care about Beyonce.
We gonna get into Beyonce. Don't get wrong. We about to break this down. All right. So, honestly, I think it's less of an NBA versus NFL. But you brought up a great point. It's like you read my notes, but it's really more so about Amazon and Netflix, because they're gonna be battling for who gets those Thursday nights, because Netflix showcased what they can bring to the table with their streaming platform. They want to be that next premier NFL partner. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
No, get rid of RG3 and Manti Te'o. Like, why in the world are y'all?
Can we talk about that real quick?
On the set?
So here's the thing. All right, so we about to go there. I love this. All right, so I was excited to see RG3 get a job because listen,
why?
Let me cook.
Because you're not going to cook if you in favor of RG3 doing anything other than what he does on social media. Update tap dancing.
Let me finish. So at first I felt like he was definitely what you ate earlier with XL. He was definitely doing that for quite some time. But
what was he doing?
So
what did I eat?
Coon. Anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, so I was like, yo, what ESPN did, I was like, I felt some type of way about it. I was like, yo, why did they let him go to center third? So, he has this podcast and all that stuff. He's doing all these different things, and he goes viral for all the wrong reasons. But I was like, all right, you got this opportunity with Netflix. Let's see what you're gonna do, right? And so when I saw what he was doing, I was like, yeah, I see why. And then did you see him eat the football cake? Did you see that go viral?
No.
Well, then we'll leave it. If you didn't see it, then we ain't even gonna talk about it because that was a hot mess. Either way, what's your thing of Manti? I thought Manti Te'o was okay. He was better than
Where did they pull him from? Like, I'm watching him eat the cake. Oh my God. This is what y'all got on TV.
But
this
let me
is
tell you,
so stupid.
let me tell you. At first, I was like,
listen. We owe Rob Parker an apology. Let's talk about it.
We going there with Rob Parker?
All I'm saying is Rob Parker called this dude exactly what he was, and everybody attacked him saying, "Oh, you can't say that." Everybody went to the defense of this brother who he knew what he was. Man lost his job. He was literally, if you know, he was on Stephen A. Smith trajectory. He called RG3 a cornball brother, which, okay, if the shoe fits. And then everybody started, oh, no, you can't say that about him. What are you doing? Black people got mad. White people got mad. All these people got mad. Now I don't know what he's doing. But that's exactly what he is. A cornball brother.
So is that what got him? Was that his decline, RG3?
Yes.
I thought it was more than just that.
RG3.
Wow. That's tough. I didn't know
RG3 called him a cornball brother. When Rob Parker called him that. That's tough. That's when in 2012 he said he's a cornball brother and he's not one of us.
He said that's before Kendrick. They not like good.
2012. So
let me tell you.
And then everybody started coming to his defense because he was a black quarterback. And you at the time, it was like, man, but yeah.
We should reach out to Rob Parker and get him on the show. Speak your truth, man.
He's not going to speak on that. He hasn't spoken on it.
I'm joking. I know he won't.
Oh, yeah. He lost his job at ESPN after that happened.
That's tough.
Yep.
Speaking of that too, it's been a lot of beef. This is not even on the agenda, but it's been a lot of beef between ESPN analysts lately with the whole Ryan Clark and Pat McAfee and Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Herbstreit. And okay, so as somebody who's been on TV, you've been on TV, right? You've been on TV, you do the beat reporter stuff. What are your thoughts on this little beef? Do you think that it was staged? Or do you think that like this is something they should just like have a conversation backstage and keep it moving? I see you rolling your eyes. Talk to me, Vashti.
I don't think it was staged per se, but I do think that it's opportunistic. And when I say opportunistic, I mean that, this person might have said something, and most of the times you're not going to address it, but this is the age of social media. So you got to clap back because people might tune in just to see what you might say about this guy. And people might tune in just to see what the response is going to be. So that's where that stems from. I don't think that there's real beef. I mean, none of these guys about to do nothing. So what? What are we talking about? Some words via social media. Oh, I'm going to hurt you. Don't say nothing else. I'm going to hurt your feelings. Ooh, what you going to do? Nothing.
Hey, and then the day Ryan Clark said, Kirk, you can or Pat McAfee, don't worry about it. You can just
pull up on me. Pull up on me.
He said pull up on me. That's what he said.
And I fool with Ryan Clark.
I do too.
Bruh, nobody about to, oh God. They probably went and had drinks at the bar late that night trying after it started going like I don't feed into that stuff. It's opportunistic.
For sure. They know what they're doing. They know what gets the views, what goes viral. They know exactly what they're doing. All right, so let's get into the first game. So before I get into the first game, one thing I want to say is based on I was waiting for these ratings to come out and they finally did, but Netflix NFL Christmas Game Day reaches 65 million viewers in the U.S., right?
Is that
And
both games?
so that's 60. Yeah, I want to say it's for both games, but it's an average audience of 24 million viewers each. But the Beyonce Bowl brought
That's
in
what
at least
that's what I wanted to know about.
yeah. So I think it started with 20 here's the thing, Netflix is very careful of how they wanted to bring this stuff out. So my biggest thing, if it's 65, right? I would say that they say that Beyonce brought at least 27 million by herself. So it definitely was. It was less on the Kansas City Steelers game and more on the Ravens and the Texans for sure. One thing I want to talk about, I want to say real quick, Kansas City is always finding a way to win. It be close games. This wasn't not a close game at all. They whooped them. It is what it is. I think the Steelers definitely Pickens. Wait, Pickens, bro. Do you think who's worse? Did you watch this game?
Not really.
Once
it was a blowout, I was like in and out. I think I took a nap. Like,
good for you. Because I think here's the thing about the NFL games. The NFL games this for Christmas, and this is the reason I want to talk about the ratings too, because the 65 million is insane, right? However, bless you. However, these games were boring. Both games were boring. But and the NBA games were actually more entertaining. All the NBA games were very, very close. However, their ratings are not touching the NFL at all. So this is like a Goodell versus Adam Silver rivalry. They're going to lose Christmas if they don't figure something out. But Pickens' attitude is ridiculous. However, he is a great player. But he had a lot of he would have just the antics, just the antics, and they talk about Deontay Johnson, but Pickens might have the worst public antics that we've seen. Speaking of it, let's get into the other thing, the Ravens-Texans Bowl. Deontay Johnson was there, and before the game, he definitely, and after, he dapped up Lamar Jackson, Zay Flowers, Derrick Henry, coaches, and all that stuff. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on with Deontay and all of that. He did not play. He was inactive, of course, because he just got traded. He just got picked up by the Texans. But that was very interesting to kind of witness. But Beyonce, do you know that she made $60 million from that halftime show? 60.
That's how much Netflix played her?
Yep. And she already had a Netflix, per my sister, I think we were talking about it. She already had a Netflix contract to do like these big things. So they kind of had her in a tuck already.
Okay.
So that 60, that quote unquote 60, I think it was 60, 60 million with her deal. That might have been something that she already had planned out already. But 60 million is wild for that. What did you think about the halftime show? Because I thought it was very impressive.
Oh, it was Super Bowl level production. The dancers, the props, the the music, the way the music was arranged, even the stunts, her suspending in the air with the bang, like blue dancing, like she bad, man. She bad. She is
goated.
But and that's the thing I respect. Like, she's not going to do anything. She has a brand to protect. And so she's not going to have anything. It's not going to be to the level of her brand. So I think most people would have been fine with her standing on stage and just singing. But she didn't give us that. She gave a show, honey. A show. I wasn't expecting all of that. I wasn't.
At first, it threw me off because when Mariah Carey did the little opening, I was like, okay, this is pre-recorded. And then Beyonce went and she was going through the lockers.
Yeah, it looked
and
like hers was pre-recorded too.
And I was like, yo, is this whole thing about to be pre-recorded? I was thrown off. I was like, I was with my family. I'm like talking to my sister who is like president of the Beehive. And I was like, yo, this is pre-recorded. This ain't gonna look good on internet. But then all that happened, and she came out, and the guests that she had, all the people that she had on her album were on the stage with her. I thought that was pretty dope to kind of give them an opportunity. Shabuzi was there, Post Malone, like all the different people. So I thought that was pretty cool. I think it was more exciting than the game, if we keep it a buck.
Oh yeah.
More excited than the game. Now, one thing I want to talk about the game real quick is CJ Stroud, right? CJ Stroud did not have a good game. He's been in that sophomore slump, which we talked about on this show before we even started the season. I don't know if you remember, Vashti, but we talked about his world tour podcast, and he was on every podcast with Micah Parsons, traveling the world, doing all these different things. And I want to say it was either you or Shad was like, yo, he got to play really well, or if this is going to come back and bite him. Now it's coming back and biting him. And a lot of people on Twitter, especially Panthers Twitters, are spinning the block about the picks and Bryce playing better this year, CJ Stroud not playing better. What are your thoughts on seeing all of this? I have my thoughts as well, but I would love to hear your thoughts first.
I mean, I think the CJ Stroud is going through a sophomore slump, and that's what happens. It doesn't make him a sorry quarterback. It doesn't negate what he did last season. I mean, he's still there. The Texans are still going to the playoffs, and they could still potentially win their division, I believe, or have they already locked it up?
I'm not sure. I know they're going to the playoffs. I know that for sure. So either way, he's playing. He's not playing well, but they're going to the playoffs.
Yes, the team is going to the playoffs. Despite his drop off in play. So, it is get a dude a break. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I feel like I understand the give the dude a break. At the same time, they didn't give Bryce a break last year. I think this is going to happen. This was bound to happen of like everything that Bryce went through and all the stuff that the media said versus what's going on with CJ. I think that both of them are going to be fine. It sucks being number one and number two sometimes because you're always going to be linked no matter what's going on. So whoever's playing well, whoever's not playing well, you're going to be linked in some kind of way. That's going to happen. And I think that's what we're seeing now. The pendulum has swung on Bryce's side, and he's having a heck of a season in terms of like coming back. Also, speaking of heck of a season, can we talk about something else? And this is something, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, Vashti, again, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not a horn tooter. However, this was a podcast with me. It was the one with me, you, Sheena, and Dave. And I was talking about the QB Whisperer piece or the QB Resurrector, right? We talked about it, and everybody on there, I think except for Sheena, was like, nah. He's a QB Resurrector when it comes to veteran quarterbacks. But I think that now you're starting to see, not you, but now everyone's starting to see that it was a plan all along. It was a plan all along.
What was the plan, Carlo?
He's not going to tell y'all. He's not going to tell y'all.
Yeah, but the plan wasn't for him to come back because Andy Dalton got into this accident.
No, but he did say the whole time that there was a plan for him to come back. He's not going to tell y'all because my biggest thing, like, I think he's a very key, as in Dave Canales, is a very calculated man. And he's going to be very careful what he says to the media because of the fact that people can take it, not you, but people can take it and run with it and create their own narrative around it. So he's very careful on it. But there was a plan to bring him back anyway. And you said in there that you had an idea of when Bryce would be back. And you wouldn't tell us. Can you tell us now?
The Cowboys game.
Why? Why the Cowboys game?
It was just a gut.
You weren't wrong.
I think that the Panthers had the bye and then one or two games away. And then that would have been the game back here at home. And I think that's why I thought, so they had the bye, 2 games at home, the Eagles, and for whatever reason, I thought that Dallas Cowboys game was gonna be the game that he came back,
I mean,
but it didn't happen that way.
but you're still right. He was back. Deontay, you bring up a good question. So what if Andy balled out? I think we knew what we had in Andy the whole time. Andy was a backup for a reason. Let's just keep it a buck. I think he really helped out and showed Andy had maybe 1.5 good games. We knew what he was, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not that's no dig towards Andy. Like Andy could, if he wanted to come back and be a backup again, he could. Like they would love to have Andy back. I can feel that. But I think they already knew, like, Andy, you are a backup and here's a game plan. And knowing Dave Canales and how strategic he is, he probably told both of them, this is what's going to happen. Andy, you're going to play this X amount of games. Bryce, you'll be back at this point in time. Andy, this is what your job is to do. Bryce, this is what I want you to learn. It's probably exactly what happened, but he's not going to tell everybody what's going on because everybody's going to take it and run with it and figure it out and all that. But the fact that Bryce looked good when Andy got into that accident, he was like, oh, he may not need that plan I had. Let's just hold him. Let's just figure it out and let it ride. And to me, that right there speaks QB whisperer, QB guru, because he had a plan. He knew what he needed to happen. Bryce was bought into the plan, and we see what happened. And I think, like, the crazy part about it is, like, same thing happened with Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson, when he got back, he's doing well, but it's not like what Bryce is doing. You know what I'm saying? But people know. So I thought that was interesting. I had to call that out real quick. But yeah, so last thing on this game, it's been a lot of talks on MVP. This whole Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen thing. I know that you cover the Panthers and you probably don't see the entire landscape at the NFL, but if you had to pick an MVP for and then we're gonna actually do this later on, like pregame awards of like who wins MVP and everything. But right now, since this is a big topic, what are your thoughts on who you think wins MVP? And right now it's either between Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, or Saquon Barkley. Those have been the 3 names that I've been seeing across all media platforms. Vashti, what say you?
Lamar. I mean, I think Saquon gets it if he's able to get that record. But if he's not able to get the record, then it's gotta be Lamar, in my opinion.
I agree. I think, like, everyone's saying, oh, well, Lamar has Derrick Henry and Lamar has more weapons than Josh Allen and all this stuff. And most valuable player means how valuable you are to the team and this, that, and the third. But when you look at, like, the passer rating, the yards, total touchdowns, the least amount of interceptions, like, Lamar is cooking. So I think I got Lamar too. Josh Allen's a close second because I'm not even gonna hold you. He's definitely balling. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. We'll talk about it later once it gets close to the actual awards and everything. But I just want to get your take on it. Have you had a chance to watch any college football?
I watched a little bit of the first week, but the games were terrible. So
exactly,
I really don't follow it as much. Yeah. No,
I got 3 points that I wanna mention about these college playoffs because I agree with you on that. First week was absolutely boring, and this is the first time they had a 12-team playoff. We're gonna end off on this one after we finish this. But one, for the first week, home field advantage was evident. Almost everybody who was home for that first college game won. So having that home field advantage was definitely evident. 2, SEC is still king. SEC was cooking. Like, everybody who's in SEC basically won. It showed that they were powerhouse. They're still king. And then the other thing that I think that they need to think about, when I say they, I think like the college football committee. Some teams that made it to the playoffs should not have been there. And I think they need to look at strength of schedule. Like Tennessee, bless you. I saw it coming. You were trying to fight it.
I'm trying to hold it in.
No, you're good. Indiana, as much as Indiana had a great Cinderella season, they should not have been there. SMU struggled against Penn State. Like, some of these teams who had really good records, we have to look at strength of schedule and who you're playing to determine whether you should be in the playoffs. Because some of these teams showcased throughout that game that y'all should have been there. It was very, very, very evident. So I just want to call that out. One thing too, I just saw that Saquon is 267 yards away from the record, which is wild. With 2 games left, I think he could do it. I really do think. I don't even know who they're playing, but I think he could do it. I think he can, and it'd be dope. Not saying that should be MVP, but I think that'd be dope. And another thing that's very interesting too, Vashti, is the fact that this season has really taught me that one man's trash is another man's treasure. A lot of these running backs who were called out, not getting paid, all those different things. Teams didn't want him anymore. Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry. Now Derrick Henry's having a crazy year with Baltimore. Saquon, New York Giants not wanting him, having a crazy year at Philadelphia. Do you see the running back market changing next year? And also, do you see Miles Sanders playing another play for Panthers? Let's talk about that.
I don't see the running back market changing drastically. And I don't see Miles. I don't know with Jonathan. With Jonathan's injury, maybe they do keep Miles Sanders. I think he signed a 3 or 4 year deal. So he's still under contract.
Yeah,
he hasn't been very good. But
no, not at all. I don't know if I see the market changing with running backs, but I do see the importance of having a good running back. Not even just a good running back, but a good duo. Because when I'm seeing, like, for instance, the Lions with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, like having that duo of like smash and dash, what we used to have, is important, especially when you get into the playoffs. Not saying that what Saquon and Derrick Henry, I think they have solid running backs behind them, but nothing like that duo. I don't know. I see Miles Sanders out of here. I think that he's going. I think that he wants out. I think that he may request.
I do think he wants out.
Yeah, I think that he's going to request it. I think he knows what's up. I think he wants out. So that's just how I feel about it. But yeah, I do see the import. I think people will treat that as like, hey, we need to have some really solid running backs because the run game has shown its importance this year, in my opinion. Vashti, this has been fun. Are you ready? Are you ready for 2025? Like, you got any big plans? I know I'm not saying you're a goal person, but are you excited for 2025? Because I think the next time that we're on, I think it'll be 2025, I believe, right? I don't know if let me see, when's the next time? Yeah, the next time will be January 2nd, so it'll be 2025. You ready?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
Look, I feel you on that. But you're doing look, we talked about this at the beginning. You're doing big things. Carolina Blitz is on the come up. You've been going viral crazy, especially this month. And for that to be December, it's no telling what 2025 is going to look like. Especially like you said this before on the podcast. When the Panthers are doing well, business is doing well.
That's facts.
So I'm excited to see what's going to happen to you. I'm excited to see what's going to happen for the podcast. Like I said, for everyone who's in here, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Please spread the word for the Pregame Podcast. We should have Shad back next week. He had a lot of things to take care of with family, which makes total sense. But make sure y'all continue to subscribe. We're going to do some live shows next year. A lot of really cool things coming up. New logos, new design, a lot of stuff coming up for the pregame. So this tan and green that you see right now may change in 2025. So just be prepared for it. But it's been fun. Thank y'all for this. And we out of here, y'all. Peace.